Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking
studios
on this motherfucking
video.
Welcome, one and all, to the Some Film Snobs podcast with your hosts, Sean Reinert, Matthew Smith, and Jacob Ramos. With our special guest, Nobody. And here's your host, the Snobs.
Hi, welcome to Some Film Snobs. I'm Jacob, the one that's not really here anymore.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like, every 5 months you just seem to disappear. No, I'm kidding, though. You got stuff to do. I'm Matt Smith, the one who's almost always here.
I'm Sean Reiner. I'm just whatever.
Indeed.
So yeah. I don't usually do the intros, so...
I know. I volunteer Jacob like a lamb to do it. He's the sacrificial lamb. Jacob, this time it's your turn. I was just going to mention, before we get into the big main topic of this video, I can't believe Nostalgia Critic did a review of Die Hard, of all things. Why Die Hard?
Because of the meme that it's a Christmas movie, and he
You know,
released it around Christmas.
The worst
Gotta
thing is,
do it
I
around
was
Christmas.
just about...
Gotta get that buku money.
I am this close to releasing a video, and some people will think that I'm trying to, ride his coattails or something. Well, I think you guys know this. Everybody should know this.
Well, people
I've
are
had
retards,
this video.
and I can say that because I'm a retard. So
Cool, Sean. I've had this video. I had a script for the Die Hard review since the very first Ret Snob ever in 2018, and I even filmed a version of that video, which I don't know if they'll ever get to see the light of day. But this current version that's coming out has been planned for a solid 3 months now, without any knowledge of the Nostalgia Critic. So it's all coincidence that he released a video for Die Hard and I'm doing it. I just wanted to address that for the one person who will think that.
well, first of all, when we get into this huge topic, I have no notes, and second, we're talking about Star Wars.
I thought you said you had notes.
Nope. I decided to ditch him.
Alright.
Well, shit, we're in the deep
Well,
end,
I don't
boys.
have notes either, but I've seen it 3 times.
I noticed every time I wrote notes, something in my mind changed, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Listen, if we drown, we're gonna drown together. Right?
Are you sure you don't want the notes?
Nope. Because I have it all in my memory.
Wait, so you're not sure you want them, or are you sure you don't want them? Like what's the no for?
There's things I do have, like a letterbox review I can go off of, but a lot of things in that aren't super specific.
Yeah, a letterbox. I almost wrote a review on that recently,
Whoa,
but
this
dropped it 'cause it was
podcast,
just a
I'm
bitch
going
fest.
all spoilers, Sean.
Yeah, I am
Okay.
too.
Because I
And,
know your letterbox, you wanted to keep it clean.
Well, yeah, the letterbox,
Spoiler.
I kept it clean. But
I want to get one thing out of the way because I'm not really gonna be able to join the discussion too much. I didn't see Rise of Skywalker. I didn't want to see Rise of Skywalker. I did not like Last Jedi. That movie kind of turned me off to Star Wars. Well, I can't say that because I did see Solo. What happened in Solo again? I kind of can't remember.
That was
And I
the
might
first
for a bit.
episode, first review.
I'm being genuine.
review.
I'm actually being serious.
he doesn't
I
even
actually
remember.
Forgot.
Yeah, I don't. There's
Solo
parts of the movie I don't remember.
was
Like, it's
a
not a bad
pretty.
movie.
It was a pretty.
SJW robot.
It's a pretty forgettable movie.
Not bad. Just
Which-
All I remember was some SJW robot, and that's
God,
If we
yeah,
wanna,
Shoehorned in, too.
if we wanna get into like rankings, I'm not too kind to Solo when we eventually get to that to our ranking.
Yeah, we have like tier list actually already here.
Yeah, I pretty much agree.
Mine would
Blindly.
change just a tad, but I'll. Deal
I
with
think
that.
mine's remain kind of the same. But all right. So
I'm surely
are we
gonna-
gonna? Well,
Blindly.
do you want to talk more though about Matt? Like, what was it about Last Jedi that really turned
You
you
know
off?
what it was? Well, I mean, things like Space Leia. Seriously, that was like she's fucking Mary Poppins in space.
Matt, remember, we gotta remember, it's about family.
And that's what's so powerful about it. Yeah.
That's our meme, basically. That is the one good thing that came out of that altogether. That's the only good thing. We had a meme
Last
out.
Jedi.
Because here's the thing. Now, I want to say this. Rian Johnson is not a bad filmmaker. Actually, you know what? Knives Out. Knives Out is a very good kind of mystery type movie. I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed Looper. So, he's a good director. It's just that film was really a turnoff because part of it is Luke. I don't mind Luke being disenchanted. I think they just went a little too far. And that
Throws his own lightsaber.
That was the worst part. It was like a bad slap. It was like a bad sitcom. Next thing you know, you got the entire studio sheep going.
I saw somebody who intercut that with like a laughing track in the Seinfeld like theme song started playing in the background.
That'd be great. The your mom joke.
Oh, like in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Your mom is so ugly. I don't even know what the joke was.
I think it was like something about like I want to tell your mother something. I don't know. It's his mother.
I know
I
it was
don't
a your
something
mom
about
joke.
a mom. Yeah.
Poe should just. That's Oscar Isaac's Poe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Poe should say, Gleason, I fucked your mom last night. Something. It's just outright.
Star Wars movie.
I don't care. Like, if you're gonna subvert my expectations, have him say fuck in a Star Wars movie. That'll subvert my expectations further than anything else. But so yeah. In all seriousness, Last Jedi was both mediocre and disappointing, and just made me go, nope. Outside of watching Solo for our channel, I'm not really gonna watch a Star Wars movie that much. So I skipped Last Jedi and saw not Last Jedi. I saw that on DVD. I skipped Rise of Skywalker, and I watched a different movie, which we'll talk about later.
I have a history with The Last Jedi, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast before, but I know I've talked about it with Jacob and you before.
Definitely, yeah.
I'll talk about it once we get done talking about Rise of Skywalker, because there's sort of an interesting change of events. It's like a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. So, let's talk Rise of Skywalker.
All right. So.
Where the fuck do we begin?
Sean,
know.
you seem like you have a lot to say, even though I'm the one that's seen it more times now.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
like I keep
So you could
thinking
start-
about it. Well, I guess we could start off with that first act.
Well,
It's just-
what's your general consensus about the films, though? First.
It's a well-made movie. It's put to you can clearly tell they tried doing what they could, but in the end,
It's
it
like
kind of
that.
comes across as a mess.
Kind of like that. Oh god. Now, you make
A
me think
what
about
an
something
entertaining
from
mess.
Friends.
It's an entertaining mess,
You make me think of that one Friends episode where Rachel. Had
but
to
it's
mess up
still a
the
mess.
cookbook. Is it bad that I'm thinking about that?
Thinking about
I'm
what?
just thinking about. There was okay. There was an episode of Friends. That's how I'm gonna leave it at. 'Cause I can't- Yeah, it was the one where Rachel messes up a recipe.
Mm.
It was a weird thing. I don't know what. I don't remember anymore. Thank you, Matt, for bringing in the Friends reference and not knowing what it was.
Well, yeah, that's basically. I mean, it's basically what I'm at with the movie. It's just kind of like my opinions are definitely gonna change, but for now, it's just kind of like an entertainingly messy movie.
All right. So, first time I saw it, I was like, I'm like pretty much right with you 100%. Like, really messy film with a lot of good parts. And then, like, I saw it once actually, just in case certain people were listening, I saw it in a certain state of mind with a couple friends. And, that was a really fun experience, and I looked at the film in a really different way. Yeah. That second viewing really changed my opinion a lot, though. And then when I saw it a third time, I just, like, I don't know, I just found myself forgiving it a lot because I feel like it like, kind of picked up the mess that Last Jedi left and did, like, honestly, like, the best it could.
Yeah.
Like I
see
don't know,
that, too.
like I don't know if like you could have got like a a better movie from the mess that Last Jedi left.
Yeah. That like I've never thought about a movie trilogy as much as I have with this.
Like
If that makes any sense.
I'm gonna say like this is not a great film. It's not even probably a good film, but like I'm like I like really like it the more I think about it. It's sort of like I don't know. It's just
It gets you talking. That's
yeah.
one thing that it really succeeds in. It gets people talking because this trilogy has been such a weird experience so far with everybody.
Well, yeah, because every other Star Wars movie is no internet, pretty much, practically.
Yeah.
And where there was, like, for Revenge of the Sith, it wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah, definitely. There are parts I really, really liked. Some of it, ironically, I liked.
Alright.
But other
I
than
have the power.
oh god,
By
we should
the way,
start talking about the whole Palpatine thing.
I just want to get. I'm sending you a link, by the way, because this is what I was referring to.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank you, Babish, for having a video on it, because now I can.
He was talking about that Friends episode where Rachel tried making a trifle. But anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's all. I couldn't think of what it was exactly. Thanks, internet.
But we should start talking about Palpatine.
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 Palpatine. What?
You
No,
sound like one of those,
Palpatine.
We're gonna.
Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Alright, yeah.
I just imagine Palpatine in like his cloak just like on the streets of like Detroit.
So talk about it,
Let's talk about Palpatine.
Mr. No
Honestly,
Notes.
if they planned this trilogy kind of like what they did with the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, Palpatine just kind of feels thrown in
Yeah, 100%.
a little bit.
Oh, fuck it. Whatever happens. George Lucas,
But
you know.
it was so entertaining just to see Ian McDermott again. I didn't fucking care.
I bet.
Especially when there's a part at the end. There's a part near the end. All right, it's like a giant stadium of like whatever the fuck those things were, right?
I assume like
And-
they were like conjured up by him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. But like, there's a part where he basically says something along the lines of "I have the power" or something like that. He takes this like their souls or something like that, or like
Oh, like
the
he,
Jedi
like,
power.
he like takes like Rey's and Kylo's like force powers basically.
Yeah, and he shoots a giant lightning bolt in the sky. And I just kept thinking, you know what? I didn't think Star Wars would resort to the giant beam going into the sky trope, but you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean.
It's kind of
'Cause it
weird.
was
I didn't think of it like that. Mm.
That's immediately what came to my mind when I saw it, and I just kind of went, "Oh my god, they're not
beam in
doing
the
that."
sky. The beam in the sky. All the every Marvel movie seems to do that.
Well, it's sort of a beam in the sky.
I don't know. I kind of
It's-
don't really count it in there because like usually when there's the big beam in the sky, it's like usually some big super weapon. This was kind of like it's just visually it was a beam
Kind
in
of
the
looked,
sky.
kind of felt like a super weapon.
no, yeah,
Well, he
visually
stopped
it
every
looked
shit.
because
like
he's
it.
part. Yeah, he's. But I'm saying like the typical superhero thing. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, but it,
No,
it
no,
comes
fair
pretty
enough,
close
yeah.
to it, which is why I compared it. But I don't know, just the stuff with Palpatine. Like, if you watch the end of Episode 6, he's fucking dead. He's fucking obliterated. How the fuck was he able to survive that and come back?
There's
Palpatine,
no explanation.
bitch.
Bro.
There's no explanation.
Well, I mean, like the whole existence of the sequel trilogy just cheapens everything in the original, so I don't really care about that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's already like if you already think about it, even before 9 comes out, it's like, okay, so they defeated the Empire, and then like just depressingly after that happy ending, there's just 30 more years of them fighting, and then they'll just die.
Guess what? I got a plan for when I have kids. I'm not going to show them the sequel trilogy, and I'm going to show them the prequel trilogy after watching the original trilogy. It's as simple as that. Because I am not. I do not want to show them 1 through 3.
Well, by the time any of us have
First.
fucking kids, there's gonna be episode fucking 25. Like
Hopefully not. I really hope.
Hopefully
really,
not.
honestly, I really hope it's just like this is the end of the Skywalker saga. Please, like,
yeah.
if they're gonna
End of
do,
Star Wars.
well, it doesn't even like they can have more trilogies, but just don't do 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Like,
Or if you're gonna do
Like,
do
Star
Old
Wars,
anything,
Republic
its own
or
thing.
something.
Do something original or do something like what they've been doing with like the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which
Or again-
I do want to talk about that a little more, but I'll get into that after Matt's done.
No,
I just realized that.
we're not even done with this. Talking about this.
Yeah, because
Or you're talking about Matt watching it.
Jesus Christ, there's a lot to this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like I should let Jacob speak a little bit because I feel like I've been overtaking.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the first act. The act one is, it's just super. It throws way too much information at the audience.
Win the war.
And like, also,
All I remember is that guy.
wait, what do you mean win the war?
Do you remember that alien in the beginning?
Which
The
one?
alien in the first one when they're going into like that ice planet or no, like the remains of the First Order, like Death Star clone. And they see that alien. And they're like, how could we repay you? Win the war. The only reason I remember that guy is because that's Mark Hamill.
Oh my god.
Anyway. Nerd moment.
But yeah. So the
I just ranked up in my virginity card. Anyway.
Oh, all right then.
Jeez, this is getting really cringe.
You bet it is, Jacob.
Sorry.
But yeah, the first act it throws way too much information like too fast, as well as like every 5 seconds there's like a retcon of that
Yeah.
Last Jedi. Like pretty much right off the bat, it's like there's tons of resistance fighters again. Like when they were all pretty much wiped out in Last Jedi.
But I pretty much was telling you, like, because afterwards, like, you and I got pizza. Like, I was getting like a fucking migraine because there was so much going on, and there was so much information being thrown. I just couldn't keep up.
It is
got
a
to the
lot.
point where I was like, "What the hell's happening?" And to a person with ADHD, that is not good.
Yeah, it's literally an like assault on your senses with like how much plot they bombard you with in the like first 20 minutes of the film.
That
Yeah.
just- wow. Sounds like a terrible thing. Does it?
The second and third acts make it better,
That's
but
All right,
that first act.
that's what I'm saying. I think like it's just it rushes too much, I guess. Like I've just kept talking to other people, like our friend Jake, and like even he said he thinks it's all pretty much 8, and I kind of like more and more agreeing with him.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like none of it fucking makes sense, and just having a better episode 8 like makes this such a better movie.
Yeah. Well, I don't totally discredit episode 8 either, because I think
I don't know. I'm like
if you think about it outside of episode 9 or outside of Star Wars as a movie itself, it's not horrible, it's not great, but I wouldn't call it mediocre either. It's a solid. It's made well, even with its flaws. But episode 9, trying to connect it to episode 9, it's just like, what the fuck happened? The whole thing with episode 9 is what the fuck happened. Because they're trying to so desperately to retcon everything. They're trying so desperately to win the fans back, and they can't fucking do it.
Well, yeah.
They know they can't do it, so they're just like, let's just let this ship crash. Let's just let it burn.
let the ship crash.
If you think about episode 9 with the rest of the trilogy, it doesn't make a lick of sense. It's as a movie, it's fine. Hopefully you know what I'm
I'm
trying
not
to
saying.
get at here.
I don't think it was let the ship crash. I think it was just salvaging what was left.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know why I,
I
said
think
let the ship
I
crash.
think let the ship crash would be more like they didn't care at all. When I feel like it was like it seemed like they were genuinely trying to salvage what was left. When I
Yeah.
was
Okay,
watching.
so like, okay, I'm gonna try to think of an analogy here. So, episode 7 and 8, they're like a Starfleet. They're one side, episode 7 is fine, it's afloat, and then episode 8 somehow accidentally destroys, like the other side, which is episode 9, and they're like, what the fuck is happening here? So they're trying to salvage those pieces and put back together episode 9. Do you know what kind of analogy I'm trying to think of here?
It's like Humpty Dumpty.
They're trying to save a ship from crashing.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, yeah. So basically, the episode 7 got it off running. Episode 8, they fucking crash land.
They attack themselves.
And then in 9, they try to piece the junk back together.
Yeah.
Just imagine. I just imagine J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson are interacting with each other, and then J.J. Abrams grabs Ryan Johnson after crashing the ship, like, "What the fuck did you do?" I just went to take a shit.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. After I put it like that, it's kind of explains it perfectly.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'll tell you this. I did see that Red Letter Media video.
Oh,
Not
they're
all
like
of it.
a 70-minute video, which was insane.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't see all of it, but I loved what I saw of it.
I watched the whole thing when it came out, and they pretty much, their opinions pretty much match ours, Jacob, for the most part. I would say.
Pretty much, yeah.
But like, alright, let's get into actual detail in the film then.
Yeah.
So I think right off the bat, I want to say Adam Driver and the character Kylo Ren is the best part of the sequel trilogy.
Oh, definitely. He's the most developed.
Yeah.
The most developed, the most interesting character.
Yeah, and
Just-
Adam Driver's just a
and
great
Adam
actor.
Driver, yeah.
I love just seeing him on screen.
Like, I think his... Actually, I think this is going to be the best way for me to sum up how I feel about this trilogy. I think all the... Or not all the Rey and Kylo stuff. Because I think she could have failed more as a character to grow. But, in general, I think all the Rey and Kylo stuff is, like, a million times better than any of the Poe and Finn stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It feels like they knew where... they knew. They somewhat knew where they wanted to go with Kylo and Rey, but like beyond 7, they didn't know what they wanted to do with Finn and Poe.
Yeah. You can clearly see that in episode 9.
Yeah,
a lot.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like a lot of what Finn does is just scream Rey's name every 2 seconds.
Ray!
Rey! Ah!
My favorite biopic that isn't no. Nah. Continue. Continue with your Star Wars
Okay.
talk. Have I gotten quieter or am I just crazy?
No, you're fine.
Because like on my end, I seem quieter.
No, you're fine.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Huh.
What were we saying?
Well, so basically, I feel like Finn's character, you could have killed him off in 8, to be honest, with the whole sacrifice thing. Because I don't
Yeah,
really
that's what
see...
I thought they were gonna do too,
like,
and
what-
they never did.
I don't really see, like, what this character had left to do
He's just
in
kind of
the
there.
story. Yeah, like, he's kind of just there. I don't really... even in 8, like, I don't even think he had much to do in 8.
Well, he did do that whole, or.
Well, but
tried
I'm
to
saying,
do that
like,
whole
In
casino
term, but
thing.
like in terms of growing as a character, though, because
Oh,
yeah,
that whole sequence, the whole casino garbage, it didn't even really like
Save
develop
the
him.
animals.
Save the trees, save the whales, save those snails.
like, yeah.
That's all it was.
I
It's
think
just
I
like-
think what 8 should have been for Finn was something more with Phasma and maybe confronting his past more.
That would
Oh,
have
yeah.
actually been interesting,
Like
but they didn't really have the time
actually
for that 'cause they'd have
dealing
to-
with his
They were too busy trying to subvert
history as a
expectations.
stormtrooper. And
Got to subvert them
Yeah.
expectations.
You
I don't
must
even know if-
subvert the expectations.
Sorry, Jacob.
I feel like I'm keeping interrupted, but okay.
No. I'm sorry. I keep.
It's my fault. It's mostly my fault. It's okay. We'll stop.
But yeah, and then as for Poe, I do think Poe's arc was interesting, but I think it could have been done better. Of this like sort of cocky ace pilot who needs to grow into a leader.
Yeah.
I think it could have been done a little slightly better.
I'd say so. Yeah.
And then Rey, I like the story of Rey and Kylo, but I think her character was just way too perfect.
She needs more challenge.
Yeah, especially in this film.
Like, she fucking does everything flawlessly in this film. I was actually getting kind of annoyed with that.
Yeah, she's kind of in this film especially. She's like true Mary Sue, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like very flawless.
Yeah. And we're not saying that to be like assholes or anything. No,
It's just like in
at
this
this point,
movie,
it's just
yeah,
fact.
it's pretty much fact by this point.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
like, if you really think about it, if you think about the original trilogy, Luke always had some sort of a challenge with him.
Even Anakin.
Even when he was even when he was more trained by Episode 6, you can clearly tell there were still those flaws in his character.
But they
When
just
when
didn't want
the
that.
sequel trilogy doesn't have that.
She couldn't have flaws because she has flaws. Little girls can't look up to her, even though every woman, every man, everyone has flaws.
And I'm not saying
Like-
like I don't like this character. No, I like this character plenty.
I
think
actually do
her
like the
story is interesting.
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it could have used more struggle for relatability.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then Kylo Ren is just my favorite character. One of my favorite Star Wars characters in general. I'm just gonna say
Oh
that.
yeah. He's fucking badass.
I do like Adam Driver though. He is a good actor. Really good. I think
Yeah, if it wasn't Kylo, if it wasn't Adam Driver, I couldn't see it being anybody else, really.
Yeah, I can't either.
Kind of
And
like I can't
honestly-
see anybody else playing Darth Vader. It's
Yeah,
kind of the
I
same
know.
thing with
Pretty
Kylo Ren.
I know what you mean. You can't. Yeah. It just makes sense. Yeah.
But I think this trilogy's just shown they had no fucking plan at all.
None. None at all. They just went, okay, listen. It's Bob Iger with a blindfold and said, okay,
We're just gonna make
so
these
main
movies.
character,
Well,
he just
to
threw a
quote-
dart.
to-
He just threw darts.
To paraphrase Red Letter Media a little bit, they said something that was kind of funny that I never thought of. So they got Lawrence Kasdan to write the story a little bit for Episode 7, right? And they
Yeah.
were just like, hey, we could pay you for writing the same story. And he's like, I can write the same story all over again? This is great.
It's you know.
It like that to me just shows along with other things in the trilogy, that they just really didn't have a plan to begin with. And if they took their time, they didn't rush these films, maybe gave them, instead of 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah, before.
and if they had a plan from the beginning.
Like they should have given themselves time. When did Empire come out?
Empire came out in 80.
80.
Return of the
Hey,
Jedi was
yeah,
83.
okay.
Those
So, yeah.
movies had 3
The
years
originals had 3 years, and the prequels had 3 years between each one.
Yeah, I mean another example of a thing that takes 3 years. Remember the Batman movies? They all took 3 years apart, except for oddly enough 4. Batman and Robin.
between. Oh yeah, and that movie's a shit show.
Exactly. Let's kick some
Well, I
ice.
with this movie, when I was rewatching it, Rise of Skywalker, that is,
Yeah.
it is one meticulously made fucking movie.
Well, that's good.
Especially
yeah,
on
there's
like,
a lot of-
especially on the rewatch, dude. Like, holy fuck, like that is attention to detail in filmmaking.
Oh yeah, definitely. J.J. Abrams has a knack for that. He's always had a knack for that.
That's what makes those first 2
And it's like
Star
there's
Trek movies
so many like
entertaining.
so many just amazing like moving camera shots. It was
Well, even like The Force Awakens, I love rewatching that and seeing like all the like creatures and stuff and all the things in the background, just like all
I
the
love
little
watching-
small little details.
I was gonna say, I
Alright.
love watching his Star Trek films a lot.
I actually haven't seen them.
Well, not bad actually. Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're good movies, but they're not great Star Trek movies. But anyway,
I have great Star Trek movies. I have all of them.
But like when I talk about
All
like
of them.
technique, I mean, sorry, Matt.
Well, it's okay.
But,
I don't
uh,
mind. I
but,
wasn't really talking about this movie.
I mainly think of like it's probably my favorite scene in the film, and it starts with like this amazing shot. The scene where Kylo sees the ghost of his dad.
oh, I love that so much.
So like it starts off with like this wide shot. Kylo's just like looking off of a cliff, and it dollies in. We focus on Kylo for like a few seconds, and then it turns and reveals Han. So it's just a super sick shot.
I love it.
You know what I'm
so
talking about,
much.
right?
Yes.
It was so like it's that type of stuff. Like
That whole
it
scene
was
I love.
so good.
Maybe it's because I was just happy to see Harrison Ford, but like,
I got $5 million. No, not five.
yeah, they had to pay
got
him a lot because
$50 million.
he
I
was
know,
like,
he
I don't
said
want to
he
be in
was-
another one.
Cameo.
Yeah, he was like done after 7.
They paid me so much money.
I got that buku money. I got like 10 mil now.
I got the Star Wars.
Got to go to the bank.
Okay, hey, Steven, it's Harrison. Let's make Indiana Jones 5. I'm not getting any younger.
So,
he
like,
does want to do that.
Do you want to get into
Just
like
mention that.
plot, Sean?
I don't even know. Like, where do we begin with that?
So, in the beginning of the movie,
Where else do you begin?
we begin with Kylo. He's like on this planet, and he finds the Sith map thingy from Palpatine, and he finds Palpatine, and then Palpatine says, "You will be part of the final order. Go kill Rey. Kill the girl." And he's like, "She's not who you think she is."
Do it.
And
Do not look at
That-
the 23andMe envelope.
and then we cut to our heroes. We reveal Poe and Finn and Rey, and then they get word from a spy that there's a spy in the Resistance with a message, and the message is that Palpatine's come back, and he's getting ready for the final order. So then they mention something about finding some Sith thing, and then Rey, she goes into one of these books. I don't want to go through all detail, but basically she finds a thing, and then they gotta get that thing, which leads them to a dagger, and then they get that thing.
MacGuffins.
Yeah, they get that thing, and then they gotta get the thing to do the thing, like Mike says in Red Letter Media. Like they had to get the thing to get the thing.
That's what the movie is, though.
Pretty much, kind of, yeah.
And I think that's why that first act really, really distracts me. Because I'm just kind of like, what the fuck is going on half the time? Because, you know, they're like trying to do one thing and then it's like, let's go to another. The movie needed time to breathe. And it doesn't have that time to breathe because they're trying to fit it within their 2.5 hour quota.
Well, I think the
They should just make
reason
it- Yeah.
I think the reason that it didn't breathe was because like of all the retcons that it did.
Yeah.
Like that's why I say like I think if simply 8 is done better than this movie, I actually like in terms of where they took it, I actually don't mind. Like I kind of like it actually. Like I like the ending and I like sort of where it went. But
Yeah.
but it's so obvious that it needed way more time to breathe. It needed to be properly set up. Like you definitely need to set up the whole Palpatine Rey thing way more.
Yeah.
Because it definitely just comes out of fucking nowhere in this film.
Yeah, when they revealed that, I was kind of like, what in the fuck?
But
But,
you
like,
told me later.
I don't know if you heard me or not, Jacob, when they revealed that twist, but like, I kind of mouthed the what the fuck when that came on screen.
As soon as you told me. I
Yes,
just
I'm the
said,
one that told Matt, because Matt
I'm
didn't
okay
want to
with
see
that. But my God, I said, what the fuck?
Well-
They don't. There's no reason. It just comes out of nowhere.
There was a couple parts that were spoiled to me before I saw
Really?
the movie, thanks to Twitter. But
Thank you, Twitter. I don't use you very often for a reason. You're
but
trash.
it was nothing major, thank God. Like,
Well, that's good. Baby Yoda does not appear in this movie. That was spoiled for you.
damn it!
Baby Yoda.
Ah, cashing in on the memes while we're still relevant, eh, boys?
We're relevant.
Nope. Nope. We're not
What is
relevant.
relevancy?
I know, that's what I just said to myself. We're relevant? No. No, we're not.
What is relevancy?
It does not really exist.
Looks to camera. Anyway, yeah, let's get back.
You were talking about your reaction to Palpatine twist.
But yeah, that's basically what my reaction was. Like, like I was just saying, I don't know if you like heard me, but I just kind of went, "What in the fuck?" Like in the theater, because I truly expected them to go somewhere. I didn't think they would go somewhere. They would go to that. I thought they would do the whole like, she's a Skywalker thing. I totally thought they were gonna do that from the
Alright,
beginning.
but then let me just to play devil's advocate. So like even if she was a Skywalker, then where would that have come from?
Exactly. That's
So,
that's what
yeah.
I was
like-
gonna bring that up too. Like,
Yeah, it's that's why I keep saying like I'm starting to just I know it's probably bad of me to do, but I'm just starting to forgive the movie more for that's like because it's just it feels like it's all
it's trying.
yeah, it's trying.
It's trying
That's
it's
why
trying
I'm
to
saying
hold on strings
yeah, exactly.
actually
That's why.
while it's
Trying.
over a cliff.
Yeah.
Because like I think I even mentioned to you like right after we saw it in the theater, or maybe it wasn't in the theater. I think it was on the drive when I was driving you back home, and
Yeah.
I said like I felt like there was like 4 or 5 scenes that like set up Rey's parentage before they even got to it. Like they like over set it up in the film itself.
Yeah.
Like there's like I've rewatched it, but I still forget. I've rewatched it three. I've seen it 3 times, but I'm already
I need
forgetting
to see
still.
this movie again bad.
But
Like,
basically, I feel like there's at minimum like at least 3 scenes of just setting up her parents and stuff before they actually reveal it, and it's just it felt like an overcompensation.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
like-
think I might try to see this movie.
I
don't know.
I'd encourage it. I think you should. See
I
it.
would
Good shit,
encourage
why
it.
not?
Just for the plain
Like-
curiosity of it. Because it's such a weird movie to me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah. That's all I'm going to leave it at. Because this needs a rewatch bad.
I bet.
And my opinions are,
I wanna
it's going to
rewatch-
change.
I want to rewatch the sequel trilogy as a whole and then rewatch it, cause.
But
yeah.
that's what I'm going to do. And that's why I rewatched episodes 7 and 8. Because I'm trying to get my friend, she wants to see it, or she's curious about it. So I asked her, I was like, hey, you want to go? So I
Nice,
asked her that
nice.
today.
Nice.
So probably going to see it again soon. But
Good.
Yes, and yeah, I don't know. It's just like they've, because I've seen it multiple times. It's like they definitely are really trying to like get something out of what Ryan Johnson left them.
yeah, here's the analogy I'm going to go with. They're holding on a string, trying to climb themselves back up as they're over like a giant cliff.
Yeah.
That's the best analogy I
Because-
can think of for this
Yeah.
movie.
I sometimes wonder why Ryan Johnson did the things he did. Just in general. Why did he throw out everything
Because the
they
trilogy
seemed to
wasn't
work on?
planned.
I thought they at least had a loose plan. But he threw it all out.
Yeah, like I thought there was got to be at least something. Like they literally just gave the fucking movie to Ryan Johnson. He was the only
you go.
writer on Last Jedi.
And I don't know if you guys watched the behind the scenes documentary for The Last Jedi?
No, I haven't.
Not
It is the
thing
most
itself.
interesting watch you can ever have in your life about filmmaking and how things can go wrong when you think everything's going so right.
Really? Because I feel like a lot of the when I watched the Force Awakens one, and it kind of just felt like very fake. Because like it was just like, oh, everybody's working so fine together. We all love Star Wars. The movie came out great.
I think they heard those complaints.
Oh, okay,
'Cause
okay.
the documentary feels a little more real. I mean, there's still elements of like that. Like, everything is fine, but like you could tell there's like some shit going down, especially when it comes to like the stuff with Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill. Like you can see that
Okay.
he doesn't like what's going on.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene in the documentary I remember very vividly where he's doing the scene where he's throwing in the Jedi textbooks into the fire or something like that, and he kneels down and fucking starts crying, and Mark Hamill's actually crying. And I'm thinking to myself, is this him just trying to be a really good actor, or is he like crying for like an existential reason? Like, why am I doing this kind of thing? Like,
This is a weird question. Is that the take they use, or did they use a different take?
it's the take they used.
Okay, just make it. I mean, in the movie, not. Oh, it is good. Yeah.
You're gonna. I think. I mean, hang on. I can look right now because I have Disney Plus, and they put it on Disney Plus recently.
You know
The Last
what? I
Jedi.
also have Disney Plus.
And I think if the documentary is on there, Jacob, that should be a pretty
I could
interesting
watch it
for-
then, yeah, because I have it.
We
Yeah.
all have Disney Plus now. Fantastic.
We're all shills, yay!
Well, I'm
Yay.
not paying for mine.
I'm not
Okay.
either.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think I have either. Anyway.
Deleted scenes, deleted scenes, deleted scenes, deleted scenes. Movie with commentary. Really, the behind the scenes is not here.
I'm not surprised. They probably
Huh.
think, it's too artificial.
Weird. But is there anything else we want to talk about in episode 9?
It ended. There's an ending.
Well, I kind of want to get more into like the plot of it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, obviously, all right. So obviously, once they reveal that Rey's a Palpatine, it like, at first, yes, it's come out of blue water, but come out of nowhere. But I recognized that it was something they were most likely gonna do anyway, and I sort of just watched the rest of the movie, not thinking about it anymore. And what they did do with it, I did like.
Oh yeah, especially that stuff with the ending, and your parents, they still all that shit.
And I really enjoyed the whole, like, moment where she like hears all the voices of pretty much all the Jedi that we've gotten to know in the whole in all the movies.
That was cool.
Like you had Samuel L. Jackson in there.
Oh yeah.
You had fucking Liam Neeson. I could hear Ewan
Rise of the
McGregor,
motherfucker.
Yoda, Luke, everybody. Like, that was awesome.
So now I
That
have a reason to
definitely-
see it. That just when is that near the end or is that?
It's
That's
pretty
near
much
the
near
end.
the
It's
end,
pretty much
yeah.
near the
You know
end.
what? I want to see the movie now just to see that part.
It's a pretty cool part, yeah.
You can totally tell it's a culmination of all 9 episodes trying to come together to form an ending.
That's
Oh,
good, actually.
that reminds me. So, there's actually a lot of good use of some prequel music in it too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice.
And
Like I
I
had
was
the
like,
score on recently.
I fucking love the prequel soundtrack. Like, and it was so cool to finally see it get some love in the sequel trilogy.
Well, John Williams had a lot of creativity, a lot of creative freedom when it came to the prequels. I guess if I can get into that.
Did he
real quick.
really?
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, like, there's some tracks in the prequels that I, like, love more than even the original trilogy soundtrack.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so great. Because so many of the tracks in those prequel soundtracks are so experimental for the Star Wars series.
That's a good idea, actually, doing experimental things because
But
without experimentation,
in
it
the
gets
sequel
boring.
trilogy, I feel like John Williams didn't have that creativity.
100%. In the,
Oh, yeah,
in the
definitely
sequel, in
not.
the sequel trilogy, the only themes I remember are Rey and Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
I just know Rey's is the
Other than
like
that, it was,
whimsical.
hey, remember Binary Sunset? Hey, remember
Yep,
remember the
yep.
theme song?
That's
And did you
exactly what the
clap for it?
soundtrack was.
Hey, remember the throne room?
I guess you did. Good.
So I
Yeah.
really like that they alluded to those prequel tracks. But anyway, sorry for interrupting.
No,
I just wanted
actually,
to
I
get
want
that
to talk
out of the
about
way.
music too. So, cause like the only ones I remember are Kylo Ren and Rey. It's just like she's got the and then Kylo
Yeah.
Ren has the
Yeah.
But then like I can't remember any other fucking track from this trilogy.
That's because it's all the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much all original trilogy music, most of it,
Yeah.
other than those two.
Like, actually, I got a, from Walmart recently. So I got a 7-inch single, and it had the theme and Quintana band on each side. And those tracks are so fun, so creative.
Wait, which
So,
one?
it was for episode 4. But
Oh, okay.
it had the main theme on side 1, and then it had Cantana band on side 2. And those tracks are just,
Only those two?
yeah, well, yeah, it's a 7-inch. It's like a little collectible thing.
Oh, okay.
But if you look, like, there's nothing as memorable in the sequel trilogy as something like Cantana band.
Well, it's
Like
weird because the Cantina band is like, it's not even like, it's more like, it's diegetic. Like it's part of
It's
the world.
diegetic, but it's so
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah.
Like the sequel trilogy doesn't have that kind of track.
But you get what I'm saying?
Diegetic or non-diegetic.
Yeah, because like most of Star Wars music is non-diegetic, but like the Cantina band, that's music that's actually in the world of the scene.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I
I'm
mean
just
by
thinking in
diegetic.
terms of music in general. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Cantina band is iconic.
yeah, well, like there's so many iconic tracks. Yeah, there's so many iconic tracks in that original trilogy. But that sequel trilogy just doesn't have it. And dare I say it, the prequel soundtracks are incredible. But
Oh yeah.
especially episode
Also,
3.
I was
Goddamn.
I recently told you I was listening to Rogue One soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, and that
that's one
soundtrack's
I
great as
actually
well.
really like too. And that one wasn't done by John Williams. That was Michael Giacchino, I think. Or Giacchino, however you say his
Some
name.
last name we can't pronounce.
Yeah.
But
As of
okay.
Alright, so I want to get into Poe and Finn a little bit.
Yeah.
So like, I did I did somewhat feel like I felt two things with their whole aspect, because I really like the whole Rey, Kylo, and Palpatine thing. I've said it a million times by now. But like, when they have like this massive fleet and this massive, literally the biggest fucking space battle I've ever seen on TV, on a screen. I said TV, but it's just like, yeah, now they really can't do 10 and 11, 12. Please don't do 10, 11, 12. I don't know
Please.
if I've seen that many fucking spaceships
There was
in
it
a
was
frame.
so chaotic. I
Yeah,
I couldn't
exactly.
tell what was going on half the time. It just felt like a giant. It was just like 10 Star Wars video game final battles going on at once.
Yeah,
All of
it
them
is.
just-
It's definitely the biggest space battle in the series, but probably the most messy.
Yeah.
Cause like,
Well,
what I really love about the space battles in, say, like Rogue One, is like you get a really good sense of what their objective is and what they're attacking.
yeah.
Like very clearly, I remember, like when, you guys need to take out the shield gate so we can send the signal. And so very clearly they have like this, they disable the Star Destroyer, and then they have that cool scene with the Hammerhead Corvette, and it mashes into the Star Destroyer and then it crashes into the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what made that like memorable. You had a very idea of a plan and an attack setup. Whereas in this it's so blah.
It's just
Like, it's just
here's like a billion spaceships.
Yeah,
Just fucking go
exactly.
nuts.
Here's
Just
a
go nuts.
billion fucking Star Destroyers and a billion Rebel ships, and just blow each other the fuck up. And then like it's extremely confusing exactly what Finn is doing. Like they land on this ship to get rid
I
of
don't even remember
some.
what he was doing.
Yeah, I know.
What
It's
are you
like
doing?
they're blowing up a lead tracking ship or something so that it can't navigate to the rest of the galaxy to blow up
With
a bunch of
not-
planets. I have no idea
He,
what the fuck
he was doing that with
doing.
all the non-memorable horse race people.
Oh yeah, all that. Actually,
People with the horses.
actually, that's something we could get into. So like, we introduced these two new action figures because I don't consider them, I don't consider them characters because they have no character in the film. They pretty much just show up to,
merchandise.
they just show up to look cool.
Merchandise.
Sorry,
Which
I
is-
just love that action figures.
Yeah,
Perfect.
they're not characters.
They're not characters.
That is the perfect. That's perfect. I love it.
So we introduce this black girl who's also a stormtrooper who resisted, and she's got a thing for Finn, but they never do anything with that, and she just helps them for minimalist reason because she's also a defective stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's like
I
a
don't-
whole
I don't-
clan of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
It's
I
like a whole
wanted
group.
that's the one thing like that really annoyed me with Finn's character. It was just like I wanted them to explore that a little more. The whole idea of a
Yeah, of him
First
being a
Order
defective trooper. But
and they never have
yeah.
done that throughout the trilogy at all. And I'm just kind of like, why?
That's
You had a
why
clear
what I said
opportunity
earlier, I
to do
think
that.
Last Jedi Finn's story should have been something with Phasma, like actually use Phasma as a character and
Yeah.
do more with Finn's past.
But nope. Kill her off.
Actually, I was very quick. How I would have done Finn was like 7, fine. It's a good setup for all these cool characters. 8, I would have had like maybe some more conflict between Finn and like the rest of the Resistance. Like, are you sure you're not a spy, scumbag, or whatever?
Yeah.
Like have him like really have to challenge that aspect of his past and his personality. But they don't do anything with that. Yeah. So yeah, I would have done something with him
I don't
confronting
fucking
that
know
aspect.
anymore.
Anyways, so Matt, basically all this girl does that they meet in this movie, they crash on Endor. She helps them fix their ship, and then for some reason she brings a bunch of horses to help them in the final battle. That's all she does.
Horses. Horses.
They're like
Bring me some
furry,
horses.
mammoth-looking horses.
They're fucking horses.
Bring me
Yeah.
horses.
And then the second action figure, who's not a character, is Poe's like old lover, I guess, or girlfriend from when he used to be a spice runner or whatever, which also comes out of
yeah.
nowhere.
Mask lady, as I call her.
Yeah, a mask lady.
What is this, a Han Solo ripoff now? Is that what Poe is now? Just
Uh,
Han Solo 2.0?
I
Well,
think-
it's like
Like, what is he in this whole thing?
I
In
know.
this whole universe?
So like, if you want to get it, all right. Let me just quickly talk about this person, and then I'll talk about Poe as a character. Matt, all right? So basically, this
Cool.
character, so they find this Sith dagger, and they need someone to translate it. And C-3PO can translate it, but he has a programming that restricts him from translating Sith, like hieroglyphs, basically.
Oh, so basically... Ah,
Like it's against the law for him to like translate that stuff.
really?
And it's
Wow,
in his
that's,
programming, which is something I kind of actually like.
yeah.
But the thing is, where it gets shaky is just like, I noticed it immediately when I saw it the second time. It's just like this whole aspect of the story just hinges on Poe saying this is his literal line. I know a guy on Kajimi. I know a guy. In the third fucking movie, you just know a guy.
I know a guy, you know, he can do anything. He paints houses.
So like then
Get it? 'Cause-
they go back
get
to
it? 'Cause
this.
The Irishman? Thank you.
Wait, what movie?
The
He
Irishman.
was referencing the
Oh,
Irishman.
I didn't see The Irishman yet.
Oh man, neither did I, but I know that part.
I've seen like the first half of it. But it,
Oh.
Anyways,
How
so
was
then
it? Never mind. We'll save it for later.
yeah, save it. So anyways, then they go to this planet and they meet this bounty hunter chick who was like Poe's old chick that they used to do stuff together, and I feel like this is something that could have been thrown in 8, like it's explaining Poe's past a little more rather than just throwing it in the last one.
yeah.
And
definitely.
yeah, so then those two characters pretty much, this bounty hunter chick, she helps them, they leave, and then she just randomly shows up at the end after they blow up her fucking planet. Because, Sean, on rewatch, the planet that they blow up was that planet.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the first time I didn't notice, I was just like, They just blew up a random fucking planet.
No, when she comes back, I kind of looked at the screen. And I was like, wait, wouldn't she be dead? Did she
Yeah,
not escape
yeah,
the planet,
exactly.
though?
I was just like,
It's kinda-
apparently
it's
she
kinda
got off.
Oh, we should talk about this real quick. Okay, so there's a moment where they blow up a ship, or they make you think they blow up a ship that has Chewbacca on it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I left to go to the bathroom, and I didn't see that Chewbacca was actually on another ship and was fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh no.
fucking, I come back and all I see is Chewbacca's okay, and then I'm like, wait, what? I thought he was dead. I thought they didn't care.
And then after the movie, I was just like, Sean, you left to go to the bathroom, like right when they revealed Chewbacca was alive. So then, like, he was watching the movie and he just randomly Chewbacca's alive, and then again.
Jacob sees my face and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, that's great. You was a real movie watcher, you know.
All I had to
Anyway.
do was pee, man. It's not fair.
You just had to take a piss. That's all. Shouldn't have to miss a chunk of the.
With a urinal that had a bunch of popcorn kernels in it. Yummy. Anyway.
So yeah, those two characters kind of pointless. And then oh yeah, Matt, I want to talk about Poe. So the idea I think with Poe is, and I kind of like what they originally wanted to do, like with this group of characters versus like the prior trilogies, because like the original is pretty much a smuggler, a farm boy, and a princess, and then prequels is pretty much 2 samurai cops and 1 is secretly in love.
Samurai cops.
Yeah.
And
Samurai Cops. Now there's something I'd like to see
and then
sometime.
this one is like we got an ace pilot, a cocky ace pilot, and a defective stormtrooper, and then a scavenger girl. Scavenger, like engineer type girl.
Yeah.
And I think did I say earlier that I think what they were trying to do with Poe was like have him be this cocky little like pilot and then try to make him into a real general leader?
Yeah, I believe you said something like that.
Okay. Cuz it didn't feel like, I don't know. It sort of felt like it wasn't earned.
Yeah.
Cuz like by the end of the movie, he's the general of the resistance. But it's just like, like I feel like that could have been better done.
Yeah.
His arc.
'Cause it kind of feels like random a little bit.
Yeah. Cuz like we've
'Cause,
already
you know,
established that
Leia
Finn-
dies, and it's just like, you're the general now. Okay.
Yeah. Well, like it's not just that. Like yes, Leia dies, then he's the general, but also it's like there's this moment in sort of the climactic battle of all 9 movies where like the resistance are getting fucked up, all the like pilots are dying, and then Poe has this moment of like, oh man, I'm so sorry everyone, like I couldn't do it, I couldn't lead you, and then just Lando shows up with everyone. Like how is that him being a good
Lando
general?
and his old senile ass just coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm alive, bitches.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But, like,
because it's like, well, but that's what I'm saying though with Poe. It's like it didn't feel like he actually grew as a better military leader. It just felt
No, he didn't.
happenstance.
That's going back to my point. One of my points about this movie is just things just kind of happen,
Yep.
reason or not.
I think it's just, it's, I just can't help but blame 8. I'm sorry if that annoys anyone listening
No,
to this.
it doesn't annoy me at all.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of things in the story that I like, that I just think obviously could have been done better if it was properly set up and had more time.
I give credit to Episode 8 for trying to do something different, but it just failed on a lot of fronts. And I give credit for Episode 9 for trying to fix those problems, but somehow ending up still being a messy movie.
Yeah.
Well, we have to resolve all those problems.
It's an
that's the
enjoyable
problem.
mess. It's an enjoyable mess. I'm trying to take it from the perspective of the filmmaker's shoes here, and I can just see the hell, the migraines, everything.
J.J. Abrams just mainlining Pepto, just the entire time. Just.
It's yeah.
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I will confidently, I guess, buy this one on Blu-ray. I don't know.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, I still need to buy episode 8, but I'm just gonna wait for the 4K trilogy to come out, like
You're
the
gonna get
box
that
sets to come out.
fucking 9-movie box set.
No, there's gonna be smaller ones. I know that for sure.
And then the big one.
No, the big one's coming out before the small ones.
Uh-huh.
They already confirmed it at BestBuy.com. It's like $250, some crazy price.
And hey,
like that.
guess what? No Unaltered Trilogy is again.
At this point, I don't fucking care.
I know you don't. Unofficial
I can get fan
announcement.
restorations of the 4K. I can get 4K restorations of the original cuts through fan.
That's the problem,
restorations.
is that Disney should try to do it. Because then people would buy them.
But
Think of the money,
yeah.
Disney. This is the one time I wanted to think about money.
So yeah, I enjoyed Palpatine hamming it up. Ian McDermott.
Oh yeah, I fucking loved it.
I talked about how much I
More power.
love Adam Driver and Kylo Ren.
I don't know if you saw the giant ass smile I had on my face every time I saw Palpatine. Every time I saw Palpatine, my face went from like normal to like very, very, very happy.
Mm.
Because I just love seeing Ian McDermott ham it up.
Actually, can I talk about Kylo Ren as a whole throughout the
Yeah,
trilogy?
Sure, go ahead.
Alright, because I've said I like him a lot as a character, but I don't know, something about him, even in all 3 movies, even though they weren't perfect movies, like, just his part of it, I feel like it was perfect. I don't know. Like, I know it's gonna be, like, really, I guess outrageous maybe to say, but I feel like just his character alone, I feel like was done perfectly.
Doesn't feel too outrageous now.
Because it's like his story is basically like the idea of like this selfish person, and I guess is gonna like spoil it for Matt, but he's already been spoiled by him a lot. So it's like he's this selfish character who destroys everything he loves for the sake of his own personal gain.
Yeah.
And that's the first movie. In the second movie, he's questioning those decisions he's made, and in his actions in that film, he even falls deeper into like the darkness. But we've had like that establishment of maybe his conflict in himself and his bond with this girl. And then in the final film, he's like in his most angerish, like most rage-inducing like state, and extremely angry and unstable, and throughout that, still being the selfish character that he is, and then in the end, ultimately sacrificing himself for like the greater good,
Yes.
like the ultimate selfless act. So I thought his
There's something
aspect.
we didn't bring up, but I'll wait for you to be done.
But yeah, wait, what didn't I bring up?
Raylo.
Oh, you said we didn't bring up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I think
was
that
actually gonna mention
Kylo
that.
Ren thing I really love. And
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that she's a Palpatine. Because, well, you can kind of connect the dots from there, I think.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, the whole Raylo thing. Jacob doesn't mind it.
I don't mind it. I thought it was way more set up than any Rey and Finn or Rey and Poe thing. So
Now that I think about it, because at first I didn't like it. Now that I think about it, I'm okay with it. Because after you brought up all those points, I was just kind of like, oh yeah, now I'm remembering this. Because that's the thing, I don't think I remembered everything clearly when that came up on screen. But the only thing I remember from my reaction to that was the guy in the back of the theater fucking screaming, oh no, they didn't. That guy, I was trying not to burst out laughing.
Damn.
Because that guy made me want to fucking die. That's how funny it was. Just to hear that reaction. Because that was like the only spoiler I knew going into the movie. Was that.
But what?
And I was just like, alright, I need to hear the reaction. I thought Jacob was gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me?
So wait, what happened?
But no, it was some random guy. Well, it's like they're on
They're on this like evil Sith planet, right?
yeah.
And okay, I guess yeah, we're gonna have to explain what happens. To explain to Matt. So basically, Kylo comes to help Rey, and when they show up, Palpatine just fucking destroys them, sucks their force powers out of them, Matt.
I have the power.
Yeah, he just like sucks their souls out of their bodies, and and then he's like super powerful, and he's like unlimited power, and he shoots his lightning bolt in the sky, and he basically destroys like all like the rebel ships almost. Well, he disables them. He doesn't destroy them all, but and then Rey, she gets up and then she hears all the cool scene we told you about with all the Jedi voices, and then she's like, "I'm all the Jedi" or whatever, and then like she kills Palpatine, but it like sucks all of her energy and she dies. Rey's dead like after she kills Palpatine, and then Kylo, he comes back because he gets thrown off a cliff. Like Palpatine has a goofy line where like after he's sucked the life out of both of them, and Kylo stands up, he's like, "As I once fell, so falls the last Skywalker." And he just throws Kylo like off of a cliff. But so basically, after Rey kills Palpatine and she's dead, Kylo he climbs up from this cliff and then he like holds her dead body and then brings her back to life with the Force. But he had to sacrifice himself.
With the power of love.
And then when she wakes up from being dead, they kiss. And yeah.
Power
Yeah.
of love. It's a
Like I was
curious
trying to
thing.
say, you know, I just need to say this. It's a good thing that she wasn't a Skywalker because, well,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
What? Oh.
I love referencing that. He references it in like,
He put the fucking Elvis song "Kissing Cousins."
that's what I'm always thinking about.
That's awkward. But anyway.
It's
But,
such
yeah.
a strange thing. I mean, I just want to mention that. Who allowed Elvis to do a movie called Kissing Cousins?
Some
Why?
executive. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, probably. Still.
But yeah, I guess the fact that Raylo is a thing, it shows the ladies don't like cucks. They don't like them. They like the Chads. the evil Chads. Finn just following her around all day. She's like, "No, you're friend zone, Finn. Get out of here. I like Kylo the Chad." Alright, but I feel like we've talked about a decent amount, right?
Yeah.
So you want to get into rankings for anyone who cares about that?
Well, we made tier list.
Yes, we did.
wasn't even
Jacob,
involved
do you
in
want to
that.
go first?
We haven't even seen the last film, Matt.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm not saying I should have been. Yeah, I am, actually, now I think about it. It's like I just said. Oh, Jesus.
I got mine up.
Alright. You want me to go first, you said?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, so me, Jacob, my Star Wars tier list. This is gonna be we're gonna include the spin-offs just for the fuck of it.
And let me just
No
write
reason.
a time code. 109. Let's look at 110. Alright. Just so I can put this in the visual.
Alright. So me, I'm just gonna say them in order of my favorite to least favorite, just for audio purposes and only Spotify. But so like my first ranked is A New Hope. It's my all-time favorite Star Wars film. I just love the relatability of it and the smaller nature of the beginning in the first act of just this farm boy who finds his purpose pretty much. Like like one of my friends recently asked me like, what was the original story of Star Wars? And I just said to him, like, if you want to get super technical, it's basically just farm boy finds his purpose. And That's why I love the first one. That's why it's my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Second, Empire Strikes Back. It's Empire, and I know most people rank Empire first, but I just got something about A New Hope that I like more. And I can probably acknowledge that Empire is the better film, but New Hope is just personal favorite. Third, Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi has goofy parts, but it's still amazing. Then fourth, Force Awakens, cause one, a little bit of nostalgia that it's this high, cause one of my most memorable theater experiences, as well as I think it's an overall good film. Obviously,
No, yeah,
obviously, obviously rehashes a lot, but very digestible, fast-paced, enjoyable adventure film, and very well done Star Wars movie. Like I
It's a
said,
very good blockbuster.
yeah, exactly, very good blockbuster.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was a good theater experience. Except, I can't remember. I think they had to replay Force Awakens when I went to it. It's weird.
Hmm.
Really?
It was like the first minute or so played, and then they had to start it over again. And it was like an opening day thing. The theater was packed. And it was, by the way, it was a 3D. It was a 3D experience.
Oh no.
The last one I think we ever went to. Me
I
and the
saw it
family.
opening Thursday IMAX. But anyways,
I saw it Sunday. That Sunday. But anyway.
let me move on. All right, fifth movie I have is Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. I think a lot of the prequels are pretty underrated, but and needlessly hated on by boomers. But Revenge of the Sith. I do think the transformation of Anakin is very well done in that film. Has a really good opening scene. The whole like space battle and Anakin and
Oh yeah, I
Obi-Wan
love
friendship.
that. That's a great.
Yeah. Then in sixth, I have The Phantom Menace. 'Cause I think it has a lot of interesting stuff, and I think the Tatooine thing is pretty good. The whole climax I enjoy. I think the only thing that holds this film really back is all the boring political stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And you can do politics well in film, but it's just the way it's done in Phantom Menace. It's just like so. It's literally like you're watching C-SPAN.
I
Like,
think I may have overdone a couple things.
yeah, exactly. I may have gone too far in a few places. And all right, so then at 7, I have Rise of Skywalker. Uh, because I admire a lot of the choices the story made. It's just obviously could have been done better, and yeah, I admire the choices made. Just could have been done better, and
Yeah, definitely.
messy first act. Then I have Rogue One and Solo, pretty much as 8 and 9 ranked. Then I have The Last Jedi. And then I have Attack of the Clones.
Easily the worst one.
The Last Jedi ruined Star Wars. Attack of the Clones is just an awful film. And then Rogue One and Solo, they're kind of just there in that C tier-ish area because I'm sort of indifferent to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my ranking. New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace, Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One, Solo, Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones.
Mine's not really a list per se, but it's more of, obviously we made tiers, but it's more
Well, I
of just
mean, like, I just said it like, I just put it like that for people only gonna listen.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you did it from left to right.
Yeah, I did left to right.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do that too. So, for my S rank, old 1 and 2, Empire and New Hope are kind of tied for me, per se, because there's elements of both films that I think are just too great to like put one over the other.
Mm-hmm. Like I
And
said,
they're
yeah,
just-
New Hope was
they're
just personal preference for me. So.
They're just classic films. like just even if you're not thinking about them in Star Wars from a Star Wars perspective, they're just classic films. Same thing for I would say my A tier. So for number 3, we have Return of the Jedi. That's pretty obvious, I would say. Number 4, I put Revenge of the Sith, only because the third act in that is just so well done that it's kind of hard for me to think. I don't know how to word this, but that third act is just great. Then for numbers 10, fuck, how did I do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. For number 5, we have The Force Awakens, because I also had a great theater experience with that. I saw it on a Sunday night opening weekend at, I'm not going to say where, but it was just a phenomenal. It's just a really well done blockbuster. I wouldn't call it like an amazing film or anything, but it's just a really well done blockbuster. Then I put Rogue One, because I actually really liked Rogue One, even if it's just like a side story and it's just filler. If you think about it, it's really fun filler, at least for me. I mean, it's not a fun.
100% filler, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fun movie per se, but like, I had fun with it. I loved a lot of aspects of it and stuff like that. Then for B is where we get a little interesting. So hang on. So for number 7, I might interchange this with Rise of Skywalker, but for now I have The Last Jedi. Last Jedi is a messy movie, but I give it a lot of credit for at least trying to do something different.
I mean, you don't have to change your ranking because of me. Like if
No, I'm not trying to. It's just I'm thinking about it now, looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I'm a little wrong. So
but yeah, you can
after that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm having to count. 8, we have The Rise of Skywalker, and I only put it there for now because right now, I think the movie needs a rewatch in order for me to have a more conclusive opinion. Because right now, I think it's just an okay movie. Then after that, 1, 2, 8, we have Solo. Solo is just not a memorable film at all. But it's not horrible either. That's where I'm gonna leave it. And for C, I'm actually gonna put this back to B because I rewatched this recently. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
I used to not like this movie, but I think after watching this trilogy, I think I like it a little more now that I've grown up a little bit and stuff like that. And I'm not an edgy teenager that's like, I hate the prequels, they all suck. But yeah, so episode 1, I'm gonna switch that from C to B. And then my last one, the worst one, Attack of the Clones. It's pretty obvious to me that that's the worst Star Wars film.
Yeah,
I mean, the sand is so rough and coarse; it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a perfect way to describe this film.
I saw a meme, or it was like the dialogue trees from like a video game, and it was like flirt, ask her about her life on Naboo, or C, tell her how much you hate sand. It's just like it was so dumb.
But yeah, that's my list. I know I didn't word it as clearly as Jacob did, but yeah, that's that.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess just final thoughts on Rise of Skywalker. I definitely can see myself rewatching 9 way more than I could see myself rewatching 8.
Definitely. It's gonna need a rewatch, at least for me, in order to have a more conclusive, ending on, a more conclusive opinion on it. Because right now, I just don't know.
Cause I know with 8, I was a little initially when I saw 8, I was a little bit soy face Wojak. Like I was a little like overhyped after I saw it, and then
Mm.
like the more I thought about that movie, I was just like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Whereas like Force Awakens, I'll admittedly say I saw it like 7 times in theaters. Whereas like Last
Yeah.
Jedi, I only saw twice. I was just like, ugh.
Force Awakens, I've at least rewatched multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, by multiple times, I mean, like, I've seen it at least 4 or 5 times. Last Jedi, I've only watched, like, 3 times, and each time I felt different.
Well, how'd you feel about the most recent?
Oh, Rise of Skywalker?
No, Last Jedi.
Oh, the most recent?
Rewatch of it. How'd you feel
as
the
a
most
movie-
recent rewatch?
As a movie, it's okay. As a Star Wars movie, it's fucking terrible.
Okay.
So, I will say this, even though it's not a review. My final thoughts are, I'm gonna try and convince someone to see a movie with me. Seriously, I might actually want to go see it.
We've convinced him. God.
I mean,
because
I think it's
how
worth
crazy it
seeing.
is.
It's
I'd like
worth
to
seeing,
see it.
definitely, yeah.
So, are we ready for Matt's movie corner?
Well, yeah, this is, I guess, we've talked more than Matt has spoken, and Matt needs his time to shine.
Yeah, because if I don't, I will go insane, and I will take
Matt's-
you all with me.
Matt's gonna talk about 4 movies, but the main one he wants to talk about first.
Let's start with Jamanji, The Next Level. It is a fun sequel to a movie that was a fun sequel. And I like the cast performances. They all did a great job in their roles, and this film was just fun. Danny DeVito, God bless him, he is a gift. I mean that as a sincere comment, not as some sarcastic bit. He is great. He is great in almost everything he does, and it was great to see him in this movie. It was great to see Danny Glover again, in the movie. He's always good. And Kevin Hart did a pretty good job getting Danny Glover's voice when he had to talk like him. It's all hard to explain if you haven't seen that last movie or don't care about these movies. But honestly, they're just good fun. That's what you need. Someone just needs some good fun. And that's what I got. Good action, good adventure. And there might be another one. Might not be. So, there you go. Now let's talk about some old movies.
Yeah, we got 3 of them here.
Okay, so for Christmas this year, I watched 3 movies. I watched, I watched many, but I decided to select 3 movies. So I watched Home Alone. Start with that one. Home Alone is a movie that, oddly enough, I only really watched as an adult. I saw the ending of part 1 as a kid and never saw it. Outside of some part of 4, I didn't really watch a Home Alone movie as a kid. I didn't grow up with this franchise. So, yeah, coming to it as an adult, I can proudly say I love these movies, at least the first one. That's a good movie. That ending always gets to me every time. Just editing that part when I talk about the ending in the Red Snob, not a fun time. It was like I was crying in the middle of the thing. I knew I had to get to it. I just couldn't. I just started crying. It's like, God damn it, it's that good. I think it's just everything in that ending. Just the whole, what the ending is and the music and all that together really is a great package. So, and what else? The other 2. We have the next one, which was It's a Wonderful Life. I did a Red Snob on it like a year ago. And eventually, sometime in the near future, the original special, the original Snobs special will be in archive sometime soon. Don't expect a release date, though, but expect it soon. It's a Wonderful Life. I saw it in color. I saw the colorized version for the first time in full. Looks pretty good, actually. They did a good job colorizing it, I'll say. Like a really good job. It was kind of like a pleasant surprise that they did so good with it. I mean, it doesn't really matter which one you watch because it's not like those 80s colorizations. It's not like the colorization of the ending of Grease, that alternate ending that's just really shitty and just doesn't make a difference. That's a rant for another day. But It's a Wonderful Life is a classic. It's one of the best Christmas movies, just one of the best movies ever made. And I don't think I really did a great review of it, really. I feel like there were things I could have covered that I didn't cover. I didn't talk about, like, Lionel Barrymore. He's really good in the movie. He's a really good slimy bastard. I should have talked about his performance. How he was so perfect in that role. He was so evil, and I don't know how to put it, but, like, he was so intimidating despite the fact that all he ever does is sit in a chair. He was still really good. And I didn't talk about that. You know, I didn't talk about how, and I didn't detail, Jimmy Stewart is really good in playing a man from, like, being a teenager to being a father with kids. He does a believable job playing that character, despite being, you know, an adult already. I didn't talk about that. There are just things I didn't talk about that I wish I talked about. I didn't talk about Clarence, the actor playing Clarence. I just made a little joke about, you know, he's got the IQ of a rabbit, but yes, he has the faith of a child. And that was our thing for a while. Grade A assholes. I just love that joke I did. But at the same time, I wish I could have done more with that review. So I guess that's where I stand there. Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, I don't mind talking about these movies either. If you guys want to talk about, like, Home Alone or, you know, It's a Wonderful Life so far. Like,
Letting you speak. It's your time to shine.
Cool. Okay, sorry, just I feel like I'm gonna be all generalizations and crap. I can tell you some interesting things. So yeah, the Home Alone video. I had a hard time selecting clips from Showgirls. Actually, no, I didn't. That was the easiest thing to do. Like, you have to understand that movie is sort of a weird movie on its own. One day I'll talk about it. But anyway, yeah, so the third movie I want to talk about, the final movie, is The Polar Express. The Polar Express, for the people who don't know, it's Robert Zemeckis CG, like, not stop motion, but like motion capture movie. One of the first movie to do that on a big scale with like a whole cast and like a full feature-length movie like that. And it definitely shows, because the characters look somewhere between dead wax figurine and alive. And while I'm not unsettled by it, I can see why people could be unsettled by it. Because like it is. I get it. I get it. It is weird. It's really it's weird looking. You know, the boy. Here's the weirdest thing. I never noticed it until there's that shot. He's looking at the magazine with like Santa Claus, the kid holding the Santa Claus beer or something. He has this face, and I think, yeah, that's Tom Hanks. That's just Tom Hanks. Like, I never thought about it or really noticed it before, but it's Tom Hanks' face. Tom Hanks is that one. I could tell just by the way. I could just tell it was Tom Hanks. And no, it's not because I saw the behind-the-scenes video, but like, it's Tom Hanks. He has a very distinctive face. It sticks out in the crowd. It was Tom Hanks. By the way, this guy Pierre Scolari's in it. He plays Billy. Oh, I mean, he's the physical Billy. If you want to know what that name means, well, this is gonna be fun, Sean, because you've never heard of the show until I mentioned it, probably. But in the 80s, there was this show called Bosom Buddies. These two guys, they can't afford a good apartment, so the only place they can afford is this really cheap place, and the reason why it was so cheap, it was being torn down. They know this woman at work that lives in this really nice apartment, really cheap too. Problem is, no men are allowed in the apartments, in the rooms, or past the lobby. So, they come up with these female identities, and that's the only way they can stay at this hotel. You can tell the hijinks are interesting. So Pierre Scolari is one of the characters, one of the actors, but the other lead is Tom Hanks. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Polar Express is possibly, basically, the closest thing you're ever going to get to a Bosom Buddies reunion. Let that sink in for a minute. And the only reason I know that is just because I happen to have the whole show, all 2 seasons of it, on DVD. It's not that bad a show, by the way. It's sort of like a typical sitcom, but the lead actors kind of propel it to a different level. They're at least entertaining. And you remember Aunt Rachel from Family Matters? Do you guys remember that character?
No.
Did you ever watch Family Matters?
No.
Like, it's a yes or no question. Did you ever watch Family
I
Matters?
said
No,
no.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, I didn't.
I was laughing at something else.
Okay, Jacob, you haven't. Have you seen it, Sean?
Family Matters, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, she's in the show Bosom Buddies as well. Jacob, what do you think of the show Bosom Buddies now that I've just told you the whole plot story of it? Give me your honest thoughts, because it does sound... Because I got my own opinions on it, too. Go ahead, tell me.
I don't know. It's
Be
a
honest.
funny name.
That's true, that's true. I don't know how I feel, actually. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. That's, yeah, okay, so the story-wise, Polar Express is a fine, it's like a roller, it's a scary, it's a small world, basically. It's a roller coaster with a little bit of story in between. Like, that's basically, it's a ride, and I like that. It's fun. It's a good time. But to say that there's a really big dramatic story in there, not exactly true. It's entertaining, it is well done, but, you know, it's basically a really, really nice ride with a nice ending. Based on a book which is from the same author as Zathura and Jamanji. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Jumanji.
Yeah. It was a book, then turned to a movie with Robin Williams. Then
I
they...
always thought it was a movie from the beginning.
No, book first, then movie. And, yeah, anyway, so... No, yeah. This technology did die off for a good reason. It was really weird. Although, like, Avatar had the motion capture performances, but it was better. Like, think about Avatar. I know we weren't reviewing that, but, like, Avatar is a movie I don't really have a strong feeling of anything for. You know, like, I'm in the middle with that movie. It's not a bad movie. It isn't. It's just not... As a story, it's not that interesting, but the visuals are very interesting and beautiful. And so, relatively hold up. But still, I'm glad that, you know, even though now Disney had the #1 movie in the box office, then got it again with Avengers Endgame. I do like Avengers Endgame more. Personally, it's just one of my favorite. Well, it was a great ending, basically. Like I said in the review, it's a great ending to this, like, massive franchise. Oh. And by the way, hey, can we talk about the fact that Joker made $1 billion, I think?
Yay!
Yeah, no, yay indeed.
Autistic flapping. Anyway.
Enjoy your autistic flapping. Well, I tell you this, man. Even though I don't love Joker, as a movie, okay, let me clarify. Let me just split the hairs or opinions or whatever. Okay. As a comic book movie, like based on a comic book character, it's fine as an adaptation of the character. But as its own movie, if it had been its own movie, without like any connections to Joker or Batman, I probably would have been like, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is great. Perfect even. But the problem is that you're calling it Joker, but like there's almost nothing really connected to the comics. What's the point?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean?
Batman is in there. You literally
He's
have
not.
be like a domino in killing Batman's parents.
Maybe, but like even then, that's like at the end. Most of the movie, frankly, all you had to do was get rid of the name Bruce Wayne. That's it, just get rid of the character named Bruce Wayne, get rid of the Wayne family, meaning the name, and it would be a really good character study, basically, without the comic book thing. I almost would have rather like I would have
I'm
rather
gonna send
preferred
you
that.
something. I'm gonna send you something. On
Oh
Drive,
boy.
Matt.
Oh, what is it? Is it the?
It is a copy of the script that
I
was
wanted to
released publicly.
Is
And
it
I
any-
think once you read the script, I think you'll understand why we're calling it such a great movie.
No, I don't think it's a bad movie. Jesus, even. No.
Well, it
Okay.
wouldn't
I'm not
have
saying your
sold
opinion's
if it
wrong.
Wasn't Joker, honestly.
Good point. No. Okay. Let me be very perfectly clear. I really wasn't clear. I was almost idiotic and rambling. It's a great movie. It is. I don't think it's going to revolutionize cinema, but it is a very good movie compared to every other comic book movie Not every. You know what I mean. It's a very good standout movie. Great story, great acting, great message. Because it's not it's not the movie the media were promoting it as. You know, there's no worry about incel violence because it doesn't really promote violence. And the movie is mainly about how the media warps people.
Yeah, and they did exactly what.
And it's like ironic that the media tried to warp us and like, oh yeah, the Joker's gonna cause terrorist violence. No, it's not. It's just a really good movie. It's a character study
What happened
film.
during the screenings? Nothing happened.
Nothing at all. People just watched the movie and walked out. And the whole connection to Batman was horse shit because they kept connecting the Dark Knight, not Dark Knight Rises. And that shooter guy picked Dark Knight Rises because it's popular. That's all. He just wanted to kill some people. He wasn't, some deep anarchist message from the Joker. All I'm saying is, the Joker was a great movie, I think. But I really think it was a really good movie. I'm just saying it's not, outside of like one or two connections, it's not a comic book movie really. And I would have been like a little, I don't know, I probably would have thought, oh, this is even better than any other movie ever. Than if it wasn't technically connected to the comics in some way. But I'm glad I made $1 billion because now we're going to have more movies like this that are just side projects. They're just that are from the comics, but their own thing.
What that movie did that I really liked is it got people talking.
That's good too. Yeah, no.
And about these
mental
issues.
illness and about the media and about even other things like the fact that now people are probably more encouraged. Maybe Disney will go like, hey, they can make $1 billion with an R-rated Joker movie. Why don't we just let one of our directors do like something with the characters that's not part of the MCU? Let them do their own thing. I'd like to do that. I would like somebody to do that.
They won't do that because they know they can't milk as much money.
So what? Like, they can still make those MCU movies that'll milk billions of dollars while also making other things on the side. They're Disney. They have, like, power upon power.
Already
whatever they want.
Uncle Ben got shot 30 times.
I don't expect a gritty take on... Okay, you know what? I want a Spider-Man noir film. I'm not even kidding. Just get Tobey Maguire to play Spider-Man again. Why not? I think people will be okay with that. Not, they wouldn't love it. Who knows? But so I'm just saying, I wish that Marvel would do that. And now with $1 billion, they more likely to do it. Not going to, but more likely to at least try the idea of at least doing a non-MCU Marvel movie. That's all they need to do. It doesn't have to be R-rated, it doesn't have to be gritty, it doesn't have to make you feel like you want to, it doesn't have to spark a conversation, but it could just be a really good movie.
It was that Black Widow trailer.
I did see that. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'm the only one who's still going to go to almost every MCU movie.
I still haven't even seen Far From Home, so...
My point exactly. You guys aren't me.
I think we're running out of time.
I'm basically just the mainstream cinema guy.
Yeah, we've gone on for like an hour and 40 minutes.
That's not really that long. That's pretty much usually the length of our episodes now.
No.
There's one last thing. Yes.
Yeah,
it has
I agree with Matt.
Yeah. Maybe a little longer than usual. Yeah, really. The last few episodes have been at the very least over an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the first episode or two, under. But most of them are pretty long. I do want to do one thing. Since basically this is the last podcast of the year, let's just say Happy New Year's.
No,
you know?
Yeah, Happy New Year's.
Because I want to talk briefly about what are some of the best moments of 2019 for this channel, you think?
They're looking back at the 2010s as a decade in film.
I mean, we could do that too, but like we could do that for another time because like I want to... No, we could do that. We could do that now, I guess. Either way, I want to talk about for the channel, like the year we had in this channel. Like we transitioned from doing a review show where we just reviewed one movie and that was it. In fact, we did review one movie mostly, and we're doing a podcast now.
You could just cut the Star Wars segment of this and post that as just a review, and then like maybe at the end of that video say, if you want the full podcast where we talk about other stuff after talk about Star Wars.
That's
You
an
guys
idea.
should.
But
I guess I can do that. I didn't write a time code, but I'll find out where.
I mean, I'm not even opposed to like doing the podcast thing up on YouTube either.
Well, I'm just saying, just because it's the Star Wars movie that we.
Good point. Yeah, we could probably do one without. Anyway, but I like the fact that we went to doing a podcast because we don't have to just review movies and we don't have to review the same thing. That helps a lot because like
I just
sometimes
like it because I feel like I have a lot more freedom into what I can say. I'm not constricted to like some sort of a script. Or
no, and we
notes or
weren't.
anything.
We were never scripted. We were just at the very least we had a formula.
Yeah,
we had a
but
formula.
The thing is, I was getting a little bored of that formula, and I'm glad we broke away from it because I feel a lot more free talking about what I want to talk about and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, me too. I mean, I like being able to talk about movies and talk. You know what else? Hey, Red Snobs did pretty well in terms of like what we released. We released a lot of good episodes. We got that Toy Story retrospective. That was really good. That was like the biggest one we've ever done in general.
Yeah.
We can go bigger, you know. Year 2's coming up, you know. We can do something really big for that.
Well,
But I want
Year
to like
two. I
work
thought we
on.
already been doing this for 2 years.
We need to do something big, and I want to work on it with all three of you. But we'll get to that.
we're doing a short film, Matt.
That too, but like, I don't know. I don't want to just abandon this channel and leave it to die, you know? I know that's not what we're doing. Far from it. Like, we're still going to make content. Like,
It's
next
mainly been-
month, we got a new Red Snub coming
Yeah,
out.
we should probably stop.
Probably. All I'm going to say is 2019 was a good year for us. We did all right. We're gonna do better next year. We're going to make more content. We're going to amuse and entertain the people. I think so. I'm going to try and keep the Red Snob introductions a little shorter, I think. And I'll explain why later to you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, then.
I guess that's it. So
Yeah, that's it.
this has been the Some Film Snobs podcast. I'm your host, Sean Reiner.
We only have one host, I guess.
One of the hosts. Sorry.
Okay, then. I am Horseman. I'm really hoarse right now.
And I'm Emperor Snoke. or whatever. Supreme Master Leader.
Or your
Fantastic.
Supreme Master Leaders, because there was a bunch of
Supreme
them.
Master
And a
Snoke.
tank.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, God.